Okay, I'll start with the context that Indonesia has 10% of the world's tropical forest, with mangrove forest and tropical peat saving approximately 28 billion tons of carbon. On the other hand, the sustainability of a mangrove forest is under threat from various sources. So on this session, we will gain some perspective and understanding on mangrove rehabilitation that's reflected the effort on climate change commitment and why it's so important in restoring mangrove and what's the benefit in restoring the mangrove. So we will begin by hearing a keynote speech that will be delivered again by the previous keynote speaker. He's the Director General of the Treasury from Ministry of Finance. Please welcome Mr. Astera Primanto Bakti. Silakan, Pak. Please show our appreciation for Pak Astera. He's flying all the way from Jakarta.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. It's truly an honor to stand before you today. I want to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to be here and share this moment with group of government representative, professional, enthusiasm, industry leader, and others. As I look around the room, I see a diverse and dynamic assembly of individuals who share knowledge, experience, and best practices. This gathering illustrates our shared commitment to driving progress and collaboratively shaping strategies for a sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in 2023, nearing 2030, the pivotal year to fulfill our commitment under the Paris Agreement. With 7 years remaining, Indonesia has advanced its national determined contribution to an enhanced NDC. This enhancement includes increasing the emission reduction target from 29% to 31.89% unconditionally, and from 41% to 43.2% conditionally. The forest sector stands out as a crucial area for achieving this target, highlighting the need for sustainable forestry practices and effective conservation strategies. Distinguished audience members, Indonesia has 10% of the world tropical forests, with mangrove forests and tropical peat saving approximately 28 billion tons of carbon, spanning approximately 120 million hectares. Indonesia forests rank among the most productive on the planet, with 60 million people living on the coast and relying on the marine and fishery sector, particularly in mangrove ecosystem. Indonesia mangrove coverage is the largest globally, encompassing 3.5 million hectares, which constitute about 23% of the world total mangrove area. Moreover, these mangroves are the most diverse, harboring 92 true mangrove species, underscoring Indonesia's vital role in maintaining ecological balance and biodiversity. Nowadays, the sustainability of mangrove forests is under threat from several factors, both human activities and natural factors. According to the FAO, the area of Indonesian mangrove declined 1.3 million hectares from 4.2 million to 2.9 million hectares between 1980 and 2005. Indonesia had set national target to rehabilitate and restore 600,000 hectares of mangrove, a significant undertaking in our environmental effort. A key component of this initiative is the role of blue carbon, a critical element in both rehabilitation and restoration processes. Currently, the topic of blue carbon is being brought to the forefront of discussion under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, highlighting its relevance in environmental conservation. Due to the crucial role of mangrove in the environment, preserving and conserving them is important, which require sustainable funding. Therefore, it is imperative to explore and develop diverse opportunities for funding, tapping into various channels to support mangrove rehabilitation and restoration efforts effectively. Esteemed audience members, the Indonesia National Mangrove Forest Rehabilitation Roadmap states that the financial need for mangrove rehabilitation is around 25 trillion rupiah or $1.6 billion. In response, the government of Indonesia has proactively allocated USD 400 million to address this need. Further bolstering our effort, we have forged a strategic partnership with the World Bank, securing an additional support of $19 million. This collaborative endeavor is encapsulated in our flagship initiative, Mangrove for Coastal Resilience. The core mission of M4CR is twofold: to rehabilitate and conserve our vital mangrove ecosystem and simultaneously enhance the livelihood of our coastal communities. Oversight and management of this significant fund has been entrusted to the capable hand of Indonesian Environment Fund. Additionally, the IEF oversees funds from other resources not exclusively dedicated to mangrove restoration, such as RED Plus, GCF, Volu Fund, and others from Norway Corporation, Forest Carbon Partnership, and also World Bank. Moreover, in our determined effort to meet the enhanced nationally determined contribution target, Indonesia has adopted innovative financial instruments like Green Sukuk and Green Bond. In addition to our fiscal policies, as well as budget tagging, are carefully crafted to support our environmental goal. This strategic approach highlights our dedication to sustainability and align with global standards in environmental management and fiscal responsibility. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to financing and rehabilitation and restoration of mangrove, the landscape is complex, involving multiple components and diverse stakeholders. To create effective financial mechanism, it's essential to blend a variety of funding sources. This includes government support, international partnership, private sector participation, and active community involvement. The goal is to develop sustainable financial model that not only guarantee the enduring health and resilience of the mangrove ecosystem, but also cater to the need of local communities, aligning with broader environmental objectives. This holistic approach is crucial for the success of our mangrove conservation effort. Today marks a significant moment as we unite to explore ways to enhance our commitment to environmental management. with a specific focus on achieving the net zero emission target, particularly through mangrove rehabilitation and restoration. Our approach hinges on bolstering collaboration across a wide spectrum of stakeholders. These include development partner, government bodies at both national and subnational level, civil society organization, private sector, and other dedicated to environmental stewardship. Through this collective effort, our goal is to establish an integrated environmental fund. I look forward to a fruitful discussion with all of you in this session. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you once again, Pak Astera, for the keynote. Okay, I'll start introducing our speaker just to move forward. Being the first one, he is the Assistant Deputy of Climate Change and Disaster Management from the Coordinating Ministry of Maritime and Investment Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Kus Prisetia Hadi. Thank you for joining us today. Please have a seat. And then again, from the previous session, we have Pak Joko Triharyanto, Executive Director from Indonesian Environment Fund, or IEF. Thank you, Pak Joko, for staying with us for the second session. Being the third one is Bapak Muhammad Yusuf. He's the head of the Working Group of Participation and Partnership Peatland and Mangrove Restoration Agency. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, we have Franca Braun. She's the Senior Natural Resources Management Specialist from World Bank, who's going to join us virtually. And I'll try to get in contact with her, see if it's going to happen. Franca, can you hear me well?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you?
Thank you, good. Thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, let's start with the discussion by introducing our moderator. She is Endah Tri Kurniawati, or her stage name is Nia. No, she preferred to be called Nia. She's the Director of Fundraising and Investment from IEF.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I think this is the last session for today's talk show, and maybe everybody already got back to the hotel. And hopefully with our remaining energy, we can still can give us strength. So I think as already mentioned that we have a fantastic resource person right now. The first one, Pak Kus Prisetia Hadi is Assistant Deputy for Climate Change and Disaster Management from Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment. And the second one, Pak Joko Triharyanto, Executive Director of Indonesian Environment Fund. And the third one is Bapak Muhammad Yusuf, Head of the Working Group of Participation and Partnership, Peatland and Mangrove Restoration Agency. And the last one, Bu Franca from the World Bank. Good afternoon, Bu. Yeah, because we have limited time, I think we can start the discussion preceded by maybe sharing from each resource person. So for the first one, I would like to request Pak Kus. We have some question, Pak Kus. You can respond the question with the PPT if you would like. So maybe the first question we would like to know, Pak Kus, because as we know that Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Investment has role to coordinate all policies development regarding the environment, including the mangrove. So would you please share to us what is national policy related to the mangrove restoration? And then maybe how significant is the funding support from international, philanthropic contribution and private sector to support the mangrove restoration and rehabilitation? And what innovative financing mechanism can be utilized for mangrove rehabilitation? Maybe do you have any opinion? The existing national mechanism is already work well or in place? And then the last one, what kind of effort are implemented to unlock and expand more investment from international development partner? So time is yours. please, if you can share in 7 minutes for those questions. Please, Pak Kus.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, the moderators. On behalf of Deputy Minister for Environment and Forestry, I would like to present and explain up to the questions on the strengthening on national policy towards mangrove restoration and rehabilitation. Next, please. Next. Actually, previous slide, please. Wow. Yeah, thank you. Actually, Indonesia has commitment on forestry sectors that during the COP 2026 Glasgow, Indonesia has increased the ambitions to national determined contribution 2030, NDC updated on 2022. And as well, we have long-term strategies for low carbon and climate resilience 2050. Actually, for the net zero emission, we have already declared for 2060. As well, we have follow net sink 2030. And then we have basic pillars on sustainable forest management and environmental governance, as well carbon governance. Next, please. Problem and challenge of mangrove management. Actually, it is from the sources from KLHK that for the mangrove, the area of mangrove convection become area of industrial and domestic solid waste disposal, and then land cover, illegal logging, natural disaster, as well limited mangrove rehabilitation budget, and as well the area. As well, from the social aspect, lack of awareness and knowledge on mangrove and its ecosystem. As well, for the utilization, lack of integration of the economic and conservation interest in managing mangroves and its ecosystem. And from the institutional, lack of coordination among stakeholders in managing mangrove, and then institutional and governance of mangrove management at the subnational not yet well established. Next, please. For the mangrove rehabilitation program in Indonesia, I think we have already known BRGM is the National Peatland and Mangrove Restoration Agency, was established based on the presidential decree on number 120 of 2020. And then BRGM has a function to rehabilitate about 600,000 hectares until 2024. But actually, through the partnership with the World Banks, it will rehabilitate about 75,000 hectares and about 400,000 hectares of mangrove ecosystem conservation in Pork province. So up to the definition of rehabilitation, actually rehabilitation meaning that to rehabilitate or restore, and then to intensification as well to conserve. So from this definition, actually 600,000 hectares includes not only rehabilitation as well conservation. So for the 2024, I think we can reach the target of our national. Next, please. We have had the international cooperation on mangrove management. In here, through the CMMA and then also KLHK, we got cooperation with United Arab Emirates, and then with Japan, Germany, and then World Bank, as well World Economic Forum, as well G20 for the Mangrove Alliance for Climate. Next, please. The source is from MOEF 2020 said that For the full net seeing 2030, we need about 1477 billions. So it is a huge amount of money. So the source of funding, we got information that from the funding at the national budget, as well for funding at the regional level, and then from the research-based payment schemes. Source of funding from the private sector will be directed at grant instruments, green bond, loans, private equity, corporate social responsibility, CSR, etc. Next, please. Here is the varied funding type of mangrove management. So we have experience on REDD plus, including in mangrove ecosystem, as well from research-based payment, from GCF, FCPF for the East Kalimantan, and then for Norway, and BioCF, ESFL. Also from the market-based Article 6 Paris Agreement, Presidential Regulation numbers 98 and 2021 on carbon pricing. And then the derivatives regulation on Ministerial of Environmental and Forestry Regulation number 20 and, of 2022. Next, please. Actually, here is the estimation of the possibility of our carbon valuation of mangrove ecosystem, about 600 hectares. So the carbon stock of projection of mangrove 600,000 hectares is about more than 600,000 tons CO2 equivalent. And it takes about 5 to 10 years to be valued. So the projection of the mangrove carbon stock will be valued about 9.2 billions until 24.5 billions. Next, please. This is the implementation state of carbon fund of the Forest Carbon Partnership Facility. We refer to East Kalimantan with REDD plus scheme. It is just to mention that many funding could be generated, such kind of REDD plus scheme. There is no transfer of carbon credit to the buyer country. So East Kalimantan has already been get the advantage of this rehabilitation and conservation. Okay, next please. Also under Kemenko Marpes, we developed the Mangrove for Coastal Resilience project for carbon credit readiness. We do this project in south of Kalimantan with the projection of potential carbon stock about 63 million ton CO2 equivalent. Also, for the conservation area, about 66,000 hectares, and for the rehabilitation, about 25,000 hectares. So it is a good value for the economic from mangrove carbon. So the value is about 315 millions US dollar. So it is as well another scheme that whether we can use this for the mangrove for coastal resilience project for carbon credit readiness in here, whether we can use REDD plus or whether we can as well sell through the voluntary carbon market. So we can see whether the PCM can be applied in Indonesia, because with PCM we don't need to transfer the carbon credit to become owned by the foreign country or the buyer country. So it is a good chance, actually. Kemudian, next please, sorry. And another innovative finance, there is through the G20 Bali Leaders Declarations, recognize GBFA for optimization of branded finance in developing countries. Actually, in here through the branded finance, maybe it has been discussed previous if talk shows. So we just want to stress that branded finance should be one of the key solutions among others. So I think Indonesia could develop further for the global blended finance to attract and then to share our experience to developing countries. Next, please. Thank you.
Give applause to Pak Kus. So thank you, Pak Kus. So it is interesting presentation or response to the question. So the government of Indonesia have target of restoration of mangroves around 600 million hectare, and also you also share a bit how the mangrove restoration and then how we can link it with the Red Plus program to have result-based payment from the international support. So I think we will move to Pak Joko as executing of Indonesian Environment Fund that having mandate to manage environmental fund, including mangrove fund. So maybe the first question, Pak Joko, what is the national, the target of the project of mangrove restoration under IF management? And then the second question, how IF as a financial, non-profit financial institution to unlock private and also public finance at this point. And then the last one, Pak Kus already mentioned as well that mangrove also have potential to involve in carbon trading. So I think the blue carbon trading, I think you also maybe can share a bit the contribution of the mangrove to blue carbon trading in national level or maybe in international later on. So time is yours, Pak, please.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Nia. I think the first question is already described very well with Pak Kus, yeah. So I think we don't need discuss anymore regarding on the first question, because the government already set the NDC target increasing from 29 to become the 31 under the enhanced NDC last year. And if we discuss about the potential role, I mean from the important role from the mangrove itself, Indonesian mangrove covered area is one of the largest, yeah, if we reverse from the national data, and could be produce almost 28 a billion tons of carbon CO2. So this is one of the highest carbon production in the world. And if we look from the potential threat, what Pak Kus already described, but from the natural disaster or the government, I mean from the developing disaster, perhaps this is our priority, how to rehab and also restore under the M4CR activity, yeah, support by World Bank, rehab and restore around 75 million hectares. Yeah. And this is not only talk about the rehab recon, but also if we look from component 1, 2, 3, 4, and the end of this activity also try to produce and develop what we call carbon, blue carbon under the mangrove itself. So this is the top priority from IEF perspective, end-to-end program, not only specific from the input activity, but also from output, as well as from the outcome itself. And answer the second question, how to combine and also blend it the financial capacity, particularly to attract the stakeholder participation, yeah, particularly from the private sector perhaps. From the internal IEF itself, we have three different components from the funding instrument. So we have a grant mechanism, we have investment facility, as well as the endowment fund. So we try from the internal side, from the internal IEF, we try to combine, we try to blend it from grant and investment itself. Hopefully, after we plan internally under the IEF, we can attract the potential investor, not only from the philanthropy, but also from the donors, like Pak Kus already mentioned. We can learn from East Kalimantan RBP or Jambi Provincial RBP, and we can create new development of RBP under the mangrove. This is not impossible because RBP is not only for the forest cover, not only from the land-based sector, but also include mangrove and also peatland. So this is the another potential that we can create and develop new blended facility, attract the investor, attract the private, attract the philanthropy, and then blend with the internal capacity financing from IEF. And the last question regarding on the carbon credit or carbon development itself, very important from the beginning how to develop the methodology. Yeah, because if we have no methodology, I think this is quite difficult to calculate and then to sell the carbon credit. So I already mentioned to World Bank and also BRGM and Marves, the first important thing, we develop a methodology to calculate carbon credit from mangrove and then send to the Ministry of Environment as a national focal point on these matters on the carbon credit issuing. And then we ask some verification entity, put set from the international or from the national, to give the authorization, yeah, to give the endorsement. After all those activities already in place, perhaps we can discuss and sell, yeah, the potential carbon credit from the mangrove. I think this is our my answer, yeah. Answering the first question regarding on the specific goal, answering the second question regarding the potential blended finance, and also how to measure and calculate a blue finance, blue carbon, and also using the carbon as a potential financial support, not only from the government facility. Thank you, Bunia.
Thank you, Pak Joko. Yeah, it is interesting that when we talk about the blended finance, because yeah, the blended finance refers to the certain standard, how we can fulfill certain standard, I mean, and then usually it also certain condition how we can support new activities in meeting standard such as green standard to have access financial to get access a financial market. So I think maybe in the next mangrove also have potential go to the financial market. I mean for the entity involved in the mangrove restoration. So I think move to Pak Muhammad Yusuf. He is head of the working group of participation and partnership from the BRJM. And as we know that BRJM has mandate to restore and rehabilitate 600 of mangrove ecosystem in subnational level. So Pak Yusuf, would you please share about what strategies are in place to secure long-term funding and support for ongoing mangrove rehabilitation effort in the face of climate change challenges? Because Pak Joko already mentioned that maybe some of the fund dedicated in IF is also to support BRJM activities. And the second one, are there strategies in place to raise awareness about the climate benefit of mangrove ecosystem and engage the private sector in mangrove rehabilitation funding? Please Pak, you have time 7 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, tes. Okay, thank you Mbak Nia. Good evening everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I respond the questions, I want to putting the last verse. What the challenge of mangrove rehabilitation to respond Pak Joko mentioned before and Pak Kus. As we know, the rehabilitation mangrove is costly, very expensive. And so we need the bigger funding, support funding, and I think we need collaborate with private sector because as you know, the mangrove rehabilitation is very costly. Our calculate for 1 hectare is need the 25 million rupiahs. Don't include with community empowerment and maintenance for first and second year. The second challenge is rehabilitation mangrove is not a technical issue. It include the aspect of social and economic aspect. So based on our experience, how to sustain rehabilitation mangroves, we have to respond the resiliency, social resilience and economic empowerment. And next, I think we know that Pak Kus mentioned before, BRGM is non-structural agency. We working in 7 provinces for restore peatland and 9 provinces for restore mangrove. Next, yes, this is our working area for peat restoration and mangrove rehabilitation. Next. Yes, I think next. Yeah, as I mentioned before, the factor of the description of problems is too many aspects. Policy, mangrove rehabilitation and driving force, population growth and tenure, conflict of tenure and pressure of increased utilization of mangrove habitat. Next. Yeah, this is example for in Riau how the destruction of mangrove habitat because growth of population and intrusion of water, sea water. In hill, you can see how the destruction of coconut plantation of community is very large. Next. Yes. Next. Yes. The question to respond how the strategies we think we have the 4 strategies. Mangrove rehabilitation as part community welfare efforts. So in our experience, without we respond the community welfare is impossible to maintain sustainability for mangrove rehabilitation. And second, collaboration with various stakeholders and institutional strengthening. 3, mangrove rehabilitation as part of climate mitigation. As you know, the role of mangrove mangrove ecosystem is reduce the emission and increases the carbon sequestration. And final, using the multiple source of financing. Next. I think next. Yeah, it is final. The funding scheme for mangrove rehabilitation acceleration, as you know, I mentioned before, Mbak Nia, yeah, our experience very costly for rehabilitation mangrove. So we need another collaboration how to support the financing for rehabilitation mangrove. I think the response for the questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Yusuf. Yeah, I think we would like to highlight again that blended finance is important, how we mix public and private finance to restore the mangrove. And then refer to the thing that already mentioned by Pak Joko, the most important to have blue carbon trading is the methodology. So I will move to Bu Franca. Bu Franca, can you hear me?
Very well, Bunia.
Yeah.
Greetings again.
Yeah, Bu Franca. So refer to Pak Joko's statement that methodology of mangrove MRV is quite important. What is the World Bank support for the developing country, particularly a kind of Indonesia, such as Indonesia, to have MRV for carbon benefit, Bu Franca? And then what is the World Bank approach to long-term sustainability and the continuation of mangrove rehabilitation effort beyond the funded period? And the last one, what are your specific priorities and objective in funding mangrove rehabilitation project? For example, the role or the community engagement and local participation play in the project in the framework of M4CR program, Bu Franca. So, time is yours, Bu Franca.
Thank you very much, Bunia, and greetings again. I wish I could be with you in the beautiful Indonesia Pavilion, but it's also a pleasure greeting you from Jakarta. Yeah, thanks, Bunia, for the excellent questions. Can we go to the fourth slide directly, please? The next one? The next one. Because the context, I think, was already very well explained also by DG, by Padirjan Astera. I will go to your second question, Bunia, on sustainability. So I think this is really a key question, and it's at the core of the M4CR project. So we know that based on Indonesia's mangrove map, nearly 640,000 hectares of mangroves should be prioritized for restoration. There's a target of 600,000 until 2024, very ambitious target. Indeed, it's the largest mangrove restoration target in the world currently. So it requires a very strong approach for scaling up mangrove restoration to bring back basically its ecological function, right? The habitats for fisheries, protecting the coastline, and basically generating local benefits to people and communities who depend on this ecosystem, but also global benefits in the form of climate mitigation. However, mangrove restoration, as we just heard, is very costly. It comes with significant technical and social and economic challenges. And in fact, some regions in the world who have also embarked on this endeavor to restore mangroves have seen very high failure rates. in some cases up to 80%. So this sustainability question is really at the core of the N4CR, and that it is the reason why this project adopts a landscape approach, and it's the reason why it will promote very strongly community-based ecological restoration to very much enhance the success rate and guarantee the sustainability. So that is already to your second question. But this means first that restoration needs to go beyond the planting of seedlings and also include hydrological works to re-establish tidal flows and allow also for mangrove seeds from nearby mangrove forests to disperse. So the specific conditions of the areas to be restored, the quality of seedlings, and the proximity of propagules, the availability of those, etc., need to be taken into account to increase the success rate. In fact, it is actually not only planting that the project will support. That's what we mean also by adopting a landscape approach. It will also support the sustainable management of mangroves that are sort of not fully degraded, that have some degree of degradation, or that are still also intact. And that's where those areas where we would employ or use natural regeneration without dedicated human intervention, by basically stopping the underlying causes of degradation. For example, reducing the harvest of mangroves for fuel or timber, and so allowing for the natural recovery where soils have not been damaged. We would also employ the approach of assisted regeneration, where some sites require the active removal of ecological or biophysical barriers, such as the reinstatement of tidal flows, the reshaping of aquaculture ponds, or the controlling of invasive species, so natural regeneration may take place. And lastly, in those areas that are damaged or where the damage to landscapes is very high, once suitable conditions have been established, active interventions through direct planting of mangroves will be employed. And second, the effort to promote the sustainability of this intervention needs to strongly engage local and coastal communities to ensure the support to restoration. This requires providing them with a clear idea of concrete benefits that this project or this intervention will bring to them in the short term and in the medium term from the mangrove ecosystem itself, but also additional incentives for livelihood support and the ones that were mentioned, for instance, through the payments of ecosystem services such as carbon payments. And thirdly, such a restoration needs to be firmly anchored in a landscape management approach that requires a lot of coordination cross-sectorally. Some areas of mangroves are under the control of the Ministry of Marine Affairs, other areas under the Ministry of Forestry, and again other areas are basically designated as other land uses and yet under the auspice of the Ministry of Agriculture, for instance. So this cross-sectoral coordination is important at the central level, at the local level and regional level, with NGOs, with civil society, and the private sector as well, to plan and execute and evaluate mangrove management. So having an effective multi-stakeholder coordination in place is also key to ensure the sustainability. To your second question on the importance of community engagement, and can we go to the next slide, please? Here we come more to the design of the M4CR project. That, as I said, will adopt a landscape approach, but also community-based ecological mangrove restoration. It will, on the one hand, support the enabling conditions for successful mangrove restoration. This includes support for an overarching policy on sustainable management and conservation of the mangrove ecosystem. This policy has been developed, it is about to be approved, and will be essentially an excellent blueprint of an approach, not a technique or a sort of pre-prescribed intervention, but an approach that can be replicated across the territory, and thus scaling up further this effort. It will also include the updating of the mangrove map, establishing a monitoring system. This is also very key to support sustainability, as it will allow to track the progress in implementing the target, but also of changes in mangrove extent, coverage, and health, and therefore allow for corrective action and adaptive management in the process of implementing this ambitious restoration target. And lastly, as was already mentioned, this will also support, this component will support Indonesia's readiness to access finance for blue carbon. The heart of the program is the investment, and the investment in large-scale community-led mangrove rehabilitation, as I said. And this approach really steers mangrove restoration away from this conventional thinking or approach of building a nursery, growing seedlings, and planting mangroves, towards an approach that is more about the restoration of fundamental ecological processes, such as the hydrology, but also social processes that enable healthy mangroves to thrive. I'm still at the I'm still at the fourth slide, sorry, at the description of the M4CR. So this community approach starts with a detailed investigation of the proposed restoration site. Every site is different. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. And it's vital to understand the biophysical parameters, but also the social factors that might inhibit mangrove regeneration, such as land tenure, site usage, the livelihood activities communities are engaged in that might impact mangroves. And so this research or this investigation, combined with the study of nearby healthy mangrove reference sites, but also combined with sort of recent scientific thinking on the best approaches on mangrove restoration, will reveal, on the one hand, what has changed, but also inform what needs to be done to restore normal mangrove conditions. And lastly, the community-based approach implies to foster a mangrove-based economy. This means basically optimizing and promoting the tangible benefits that mangroves have and can have if they are monetized, such as, for example, from ecotourism, silver fisheries, etc., and support these livelihood activities and also alternative livelihood programs that optimize these benefits, as I said, and avoid over exploitation to not degrade mangroves. And further, this mangrove based economy also means to promote productive community private sector partnerships that foster market integration, promoting sustainable coastal small and medium businesses, really promoting market integration and linkages of communities to more established value chains, and connecting them with off-takers for their mangrove-based or alternative livelihood products. And so, to the question on again sustainability and financial sustainability, it's also important to highlight that it's key to consider this ecosystem as an asset that is worth investing in. And in preparation of the M4CR, we have undertaken some research that found that mangroves are worth approximately $15,000 US per hectare on average, and on some sites up to $50,000 per hectare due to their important role in flood protection. This was a spatial cost-benefit analysis. It's actually the slide before. That was important not only for optimization of site identification, but also to show that in addition to global public goods, this investment generates very tangible local benefits that trickle down and through the economy. So as we heard, M4CR created a financial mechanism with IEF and opened a mangrove, sorry, not IEF, but the mangrove rehabilitation window was opened that will benefit 600,000 coastal communities, and by existing and currently having this program amount of $419 million US, it can be used to channel additional funds from various sources to expand this approach to more beneficiaries. And additionally, mangrove restoration can generate jobs and green jobs. It incentivizes the opportunity to participate in planting, become village facilitators, capacity building at the site level, etc. And it can mobilize and should mobilize private sector financing through the market integration and productive partnerships that I mentioned, and payments for ecosystem services. And now to your last question, and this is the slide I'm speaking to on the MRV and what is the project doing in that regard. So as I said, the project will help develop a monitoring system, developing the baseline that will be used for the methodology that will be adopted to develop a carbon project in this first in one sort of pilot province. So it will develop the baseline for avoided deforestation, avoided mangrove deforestation, but also for basically carbon stock enhancement through the rehabilitation efforts. And it will develop a sampling approach so that results can be measured over time. And it will support the development of all the technical documents that will be needed to register this program as a blue carbon project and pilot under a methodology that can be identified. There are already existing methodologies, for instance, under the VCM, that allow accounting for blue carbon from mangrove restoration. If I'm not mistaken, it's SCM 0008 that can be applied. Other methodologies also exist, but once agreed, the project will develop all the technical inputs to comply with these methodologies. And what you see here is basically our calculations specifically for the whole M4CR to be able to generate, and these are interventions in four provinces, so the whole F4CR program, 67 million tons of CO2 over 30 years, partially from avoided deforestation, partially from rehabilitation, that can also generate significant monetary values at different, of course, assumptions of prices for the ton of CO2. And then, of course, it's going to be a decision whether these carbon credits will be sort of thought to be sold under a results-based payment approach, or through, for instance, the voluntary carbon market, etc. So all these discussions have to take place over the course of the project. But yeah, Bunia, I hope I answered your 3 questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bu Franca, for excellent response, and thank you as well for highlighting carbon and non-carbon benefit, including how carbon can contribute to creation of green job. And then I think it's also good for us to implement a landscape approach to restore the mangrove ecosystem, because it can give or it can involve a multi-stakeholder in the restoration measures. So I think we have 5 minutes left. If there is one question from the floor, please. Maybe only one question if there is. No? So I think, yeah, it's time. I think because the time is already 6:40, almost 6:40. So I think we can finish the discussion. And we do hope Indonesia experience would give benefit to the discussion process on certain ocean-based action under SABSTA UNFCCC that was started to be discussed last year. And then thank you for all excellent resource person for addressing the issue, and give applause to all of us and resource person. Thank you and have good night.